The rain lashed against the leaded glass windows of the Whitmore mansion, the wind keening like a lost spirit. Inside, however, all was warm and bright. A fire crackled merrily in the grand hearth, casting dancing shadows on the walls, and a kettle sang softly on the antique stove in the vast kitchen. The scent of lavender and lemon mingled in the air as Lena, the live-in caretaker, prepared tea. Her movements were precise, her steps silent, her face serene, despite the turmoil brewing within. For months now, her life had been a steady and routine, a predictable solace that lulled her into a sense of safety. But today, her tranquil world was poised on the edge of a precipice. She heard the crunch of gravel on the drive below, signaling the arrival of her employer. Evelyn Whitmore, whose unpredictable comings and goings were the only interruptions to Lena's ordered existence. Today, however, was different. Lena could feel it in the tremor of her hands, the sudden dryness in her throat. She wasn't merely anticipating a visitor. She was waiting for her own fate. With a deep breath, Lena poured the steaming water into a fine bone china cup. Its delicate floral pattern, a stark contrast to the storm raging outside. Then she moved to the drawing room, its heavy velvet curtains drawn tight against the elements. Here, amidst the hushed grandeur of antiques and oil paintings, she waited. Moments stretched into an eternity before the front door. A relic from another era creaked open. A gust of wind momentarily stilled the storm as a woman stepped inside, shaking droplets from her silver-tipped black umbrella. The woman was a vision of sleek elegance, her tailored trench coat a shield against the tempest. Her face, framed by unruly waves of dark hair, was etched with the sharp angles of a winter landscape. Her eyes as fathomless and alluring as a starless night. Lena's breath hitched. Even after all these months, the sight of Evelyn Whitmore still commanded a strange mix of awe and apprehension. Setting her umbrella down, Evelyn moved towards the fire, her high heels clicking on the marble floor, their sound echoing in the vast space like a rhythmic heartbeat. Lena, she acknowledged, her voice a low, rich contralto that seemed to resonate in the very bones of the house. Miss Whitmore, Lena responded, rising to her feet. Evelyn turned, a faint smile gracing her lips. Please, call me Evelyn. Her gaze swept over the room before settling back on Lena. How have you been? Well, Lena answered truthfully. Evelyn inclined her head, acknowledging the reply, but her eyes held a knowing glint. Lena felt a flush creep up her neck, acutely aware of the unspoken tension that had always simmered between them. Ever since Evelyn had unexpectedly returned to the mansion months ago, their interactions had been a careful dance around an elephant in the room. An undeniable chemistry that neither had acknowledged, much less addressed. With a slight shudder, Lena shook off the sudden memory of cool marble floors, bare feet, and a shared bottle of wine in that same room. The incident had been both a revelation and a disaster, shattering the fragile peace they'd settled into. The memory of Evelyn's soft skin under her fingertips, the intoxicating scent of her arousal, it all threatened to pull Lena from her carefully constructed reality. The silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken words and the weight of months of restrained longing. Finally, Evelyn spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. I need to tell you something. The words hung in the air between them, charged with significance. Lena's heart pounded against her ribs, a trapped bird desperate for release. Yes, she breathed, her voice betraying none of the turmoil within. Evelyn took a step closer, her eyes searching Lena. "I've thought a lot about us," she began, her voice husky with emotion. Lena's breath hitched. To be thought about by the enigmatic, alluring Evelyn Whitmore was both thrilling and terrifying. "Us," Lena echoed, the word foreign on her tongue. Evelyn swallowed, her composure momentarily faltering. "And I know this might be sudden, but I can't pretend anymore. I want something real, Lena. I want us to be real," Evelyn confessed, her eyes shining with unshed tears. Lena felt a sob rise in her throat. The dam she'd built around her heart threatened to crumble. For so long, she'd buried her feelings for Evelyn, convinced they were nothing more than a figment of her imagination, a foolish fantasy born of stolen glances and shared silences. But in Evelyn's tear-filled eyes, she saw her own reflection, the longing, the hope, the love. It was more than she'd dared to dream, yet she knew her response could shatter everything. The words stuck in her throat, her mind reeling at the prospect of a future with Evelyn. Should she take this leap of faith? With a trembling hand, Lena reached out, her fingers finding Evelyn's. The touch sent a jolt of electricity through her, grounding her in the moment. Evelyn's gaze locked onto Lena's, her expression a mixture of vulnerability and plea. "Please?" she whispered, the word a lifeline tossed to Lena across the turbulent sea of their emotions. And in that instant, Lena knew there was no right answer, only a choice. The life of solitude she'd grown accustomed to, or a leap into the unknown with Evelyn, closing the distance between them. Lena's lips met Evelyn's in a kiss that spoke volumes without a sound. It was a promise, a vow, a declaration of love. As they embraced, the storm outside reached its crescendo, but within the mansion, a new life began to dawn. The wind's mournful cry softened to a gentle sigh, mirroring the quiet contentment settling over Lena as the storm abated. Leaving behind the sweet scent of petrichor, Lena and Evelyn found solace in each other's arms. In the grand drawing room of the Whitmore mansion, surrounded by the echoes of their past and the promise of their future, their love bloomed, nurtured by the remnants of a storm that had cleansed not just the air, but their souls as well. Together, they navigated the complexities of their feelings, their love deepening with each shared secret, each whispered dream. Lena discovered a new strength within her, a confidence she never knew she possessed. Evelyn, in turn, found a haven of peace in Lena's steady presence. Yet their journey was not without its challenges. The specter of Evelyn's past, the reason for her extended stay at the mansion, loomed over them like a half-remembered nightmare. Gradually, bit by bit, Evelyn revealed the fragments of her story, the trauma of a childhood spent in the relentless glare of the spotlight, the stifling expectations that had driven her to seek refuge in the solitude of her family home. Lena listened, offering not just her love, but her unwavering support. She became Evelyn's anchor, grounding her to the present, reminding her that they were not defined by their pasts, but by the love they shared in the here and now. Their bond deepened, becoming a source of strength in the face of adversity. When Evelyn's demons threatened to engulf her, Lena's love shone like a beacon, guiding her back to the light. In Lena's eyes, Evelyn saw not pity, but acceptance, not judgment, but understanding. And in that reflection, she began to heal. Slowly, Evelyn started to shed the armor she had so carefully crafted around herself. Under Lena's patient and loving gaze, she allowed herself to be vulnerable, to trust. The guarded walls that had kept the world at bay began to crumble, replaced by a growing sense of security. With Lena by her side, Evelyn realized that love did not need to conquer all. It simply needed to be. Their love story unfolded like a precious heirloom. Each day a new facet, each moment a deeper shade. The grand halls of the Whitmore mansion echoed not just with their laughter, but with the whispers of their love story. A testament to the enduring power of connection that defied the boundaries of class, circumstance, and even time itself.